The Hendersons' backyard was picture-perfect in that way only Instagram could demand. The pool glimmered like liquid sapphire against the manicured lawn, surrounded by lounge chairs that cost more than most people's cars. Behind it, the property line was marked only by a weathered wooden fence, so old nobody thought to maintain it anymore. Marcus Chen stood in his own backyard next door, holding a lemonade that had gone warm in his hand. He'd bought this house 8 months ago, a modest 2-bedroom with a small deck and a yard that desperately needed work. He'd chosen it for the space, the quiet street, the promise of a fresh start after his divorce. He hadn't expected neighbors like the Hendersons. It started innocently enough, which was always how these things began. A Saturday afternoon in late June when Marcus heard children's laughter spilling over the fence. He didn't mind. Kids playing sounded like normalcy, like the neighborhood was alive. But then he noticed something odd. The splashing seemed to come from a specific angle, the voices distinct and familiar. The next weekend, it happened again. And the weekend after that. By mid-July, Marcus realized the truth. The Hendersons and their 2 kids, along with what appeared to be a rotating cast of friends and family members, had appropriated his pool as an extension of their own backyard. The fence between properties was so deteriorated that climbing through it took maybe 10 seconds. They'd simply decided his property was communal. Marcus had been a conflict avoider his entire life. His therapist called it a learned pattern from childhood. His ex-wife had called it infuriating. So for 3 weeks, he'd said nothing. He'd sit on his deck with a book he didn't read. The letter was from Henderson & Associates law firm, a firm, he'd later learn, was David Henderson's brother-in-law's practice. The language was deliberately menacing, filled with phrases like unlawful ejection, emotional distress, and bodily harm. It claimed that the drive to the corporate headquarters felt like moving through water. Marcus's mind was already catastrophizing, running through every mistake he'd made, every email that could be misinterpreted, every interaction that could be weaponized. His boss, Richard, was a man who dealt in certainty, quarterly reports,